Alright everyone, we are going to be making some Jamaican jerk, Jamaican jerk chicken to be precise, which is pretty exciting. So last week we did the barbecue vegetables, and that was a test run for that item I had in the barbecuing style. And I did that specifically so I could do this Jamaican jerk without ruining it, with making sure I had enough heat and making sure I understand the system and all that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started with this Jamaican jerk chicken. And the first thing we're going to do is we are going to spatchcock a full chicken. Alright, here's the chicken, and I've never spatchcocked before. So we just have a knife and we are just going to find this backbone, and we're just going to cut the backbone on either side. Did I do it on the wrong side? I fucking did it on the wrong side. Fuck. I thought that was... Is that the backbone? No, I don't know. Yeah, no, I did it the wrong side. We meant to do it this side, I think. Yeah, no, I think I did it wrong side. So that's unfortunate, really. To the side for now. I'll chuck it in the freezer when I can. So now that we've spatchcocked it. Alright, so we've got a container here. We're just going to chuck these bad boys in, and they should hopefully fit okay. It's not a super good fit, but that's fine for what we are going to just be doing it. And the first thing we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing a 2-part marinade. We're going to be doing a dry rub, leaving it for about an hour or so, and then we are going to do a wet marinade. This is my new spice drawer. Look at that, you can see on camera. Much easier access, has my salt and everything like that in there, so that when I'm cooking and I need something, oh, this could use a bit of this, I can quickly grab to it. But today I went shopping and found myself some Jamaican jerk spice, so I don't have to make the dry rub myself. And this has allspice, chili flakes, ginger, black pepper, thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, cinnamon, salt, which is most of the ingredients I was going to use anyway and buy anyway. But the fact that I could actually find a pre-made Jamaican jerk spice, not too shabby. And it has actual allspice, which is, I might as well show you the second thing. This place called Gerwer's House, I don't know, they had heaps of spices. We found actual allspice. So this is like pimento berries, but generalized to allspice, which is pretty cool. Look at that. And it's actual allspice berries. You can see that. It smells so nice. And it's a product from Jamaica. It smells so good. With this allspice, we are just going to rub it in. All right, look at that. Just add a little bit more here. That should be quite nice, I'd say. Anyway, we'll let that go for now, because we aren't finished yet. And we'll just leave this to the side. We'll just chuck. Okay, so dry rub has been, I don't know, sitting there for about half an hour. So now we will begin to make the wet marinade, and by the time that's finished, the dry marinade should have been well infused for a good while. Anyway, what we're going to need is some chilies. These are apparently habaneros, according to the lady I bought them from at the Central Market. So we're going to be using one of these, and I have some gloves for handling. They're quite spicy. I'll give it a little taste test, shall we? That'll be funny. But we'll have one of those. So yeah, Jamaican food is often quite spicy. So yeah, we'll be using one of these for the wet marinade, and we're also going to be using a couple more for a kind of sauce that goes with it. And I'll just get out the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so what we have is some garlic, onion, our habanero peppers, some thyme, some green onions, and some allspice. Yeah, that's about all we need. And we are going to process it in here. Now I've rearranged things, so I'm actually going to process it right in front of you guys because I have a PowerPoint, run extension cord, and I have a PowerPoint right here, which makes things a little bit more handy. But we don't need that yet. Start off with, I don't think we need it to be too kind of crazy. We don't have to measure it too much. All right, so that's about 4 cloves of garlic. It says 2 tablespoons, I don't know, 4 cloves of garlic. You know what, I can't be bothered peeling it. And as I watched a video and someone said, why do we bother peeling it? It's all tastes like garlic anyway. But it's all going to go in the food processor, so we just want to make it a bit easier for the food processor. And we'll just add in some allspice. Oh man, I can't get over the smell. And about a tablespoon or so. We'll add in our thyme as well now. I think we'll do it stages. I often find it's a bit tough. We'll do about half of this. I think we need the other half for something else. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to use the processing power of things yet. All right, we'll just clear out these stuff we don't need anymore. And let's give this a little whirl, shall we? Look at that. Anyway, that looks pretty ground up. Next, we'll just chuck in a bunch of these. Just chuck it all in. I think the beauty with marinades is that it doesn't really matter. All right, let's give this another whirl. So that's just a bunch of green onions or spring onions. All right. Next up, we'll just semi-finely dice a onion. It says 3/4 of an onion, but why don't we just do all of it? My eyes. All right, let's get this going with an onion. All right, where's my gloves? Let's get a glove. Just because these are apparently super spicy. Apparently this is recommended, I don't know. These are habaneros, apparently they're quite warm, they're quite hot. Let's give a little taste test, shall we? I mean, they're not the hottest thing I've ever tasted. I don't know, apparently we just do one. I was expecting a bit more heat from it. Maybe these aren't habaneros. Oh, actually yep. The insides are warm. Oh, okay, yeah, the insides are warm. Outsides, not so warm. Insides, that's where you get the good stuff. And there we have it. That is our wet rub. All right. Let's grab our wet mixture and we are just gonna kind of lather it on. Actually, it's probably the perfect amount, I reckon. Able to lather it everywhere. So that's all nice and lathered in. We'll grab a Ziploc bag and we'll chuck these in here. Because marinating in a Ziploc bag is just a bit easier. All right, and then we just leave this in the fridge for overnight. So yeah, we're gonna leave this overnight in the fridge, let it marinate, get all that goodness. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow where we will be making it on the fire. We're chucking these on the fire and we'll also be making a sauce that goes with it. And it's a very spicy sauce. Because the recipe says to use 3 of these, or 3 Scotch bonnets. I might use only 2. We shall see. But yeah, we are done with the marinade. We're done with that, and we're just gonna let that like that overnight. Okay, so it's time to make this sort of sauce that we'll use to eat with the Jamaican Jerk chicken. It's a very spicy sauce, but yeah, it's like a side sauce sort of. So let's get started. We've got our chili peppers, our chilies here, habaneros, and we'll get the rest of the ingredients. So I think we start off by cutting up a few of the dry ingredients, I think, and getting those mixed together. Half a teaspoon of allspice. Oh man, I've used a bit. Put that there. So we've got half a teaspoon of allspice. Start cutting up a few things. Chop up a teaspoon of ginger. 2 stalks of this. Okay, that's probably a good amount. And then we'll just chuck in some garlic and then we'll give it a whirl. And we're going to do 1 clove of garlic. And we'll do, what is it? 1 sprig. So we'll do a couple sprigs, I think. Let's chuck that on top and give that a whirl to start off with. Get that pre-cut up. Alright, next up, we'll chuck in an onion. That's a good amount of onion. And my eyes are suffering, but that's okay. Now it's time to grab these chilies, give them a quick chop. And I think that's everything that we need to chop into it. And the recipe says 5, but I am not going to go 5, I'm just going to go 3. This might be a mistake, which we'll find out. But it's not 5, it's only 3. I think I can do with that. And then let's give this another mixeroo. Now I think we just add in a little bit of mustard. A teaspoon of mustard. Maybe do 2 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons of vinegar. We'll just add a little bit extra. Because that's what feels right to me. Alright, now we start adding some oil. And then we've got to add in 2 cups of water. Let's add in, so this is 2 tablespoons. It's looking pretty smooth. Alright, let's start adding in some water now. We'll just add in like little bits at a time. It's very thick at the moment and I want it a bit more liquidy. Oh, that is warm. But I think that's good. It doesn't look as good as, like it's a very smooth consistency, but I think there's some spice right there. And boom, ba bow, we have our kind of side sauce thing that we can just drizzle on top. Super spicy. Quite spicy. Yeah, it says to make it 1 or 2 hours before you need to use it, because then all the flavors will melt together better. Yeah, that's the sauce done. The next thing is basically just cooking the chicken. Alright, let's chuck on our chicken. I think it's quite warm now. Look at that. Look at that. And we'll chuck this on top. And boom, we'll just have to look after it. Alright, so I've flipped one. Let's flip the other one. Oh wow, that's charred a little bit. Alright, let's check some temps. Okay, so it's still a while to go. It is smoking up in here. Alright, it's probably been about half an hour since I've chucked this on, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. Let's see how it's going. I mean, it's looking pretty dang good. It's definitely slowed down cooking. There's a lot of charring going on. let's have another check. So I think it's around 80 we want. But it's getting really close. Really, really, really close. Chuck it on there again. Alright. Let's double check this. I think we're good to go. Yeah, I think we're pretty good now. Oh, look at that. Alright, let's transfer this onto the chopping board. Oof. Obviously quite charred, but that is okay, I think. That is okay. Alright. Here we have our hopefully beautiful jerk chicken. The traditional way is to just cut it up, chop it up into chunks. Let's do that. Look at that. So let's give it a taste, shall we? Got a little bit of spice to it. Got a lot of there's a lot of freshness to it. It's amazing. And the kind of smokiness as well. Alright, let's try it with the actual, with that sauce we made before with the 3 habaneros. So look at that. Now, I don't know how close this is to actual Jamaican jerk, how the spices, if they're close at all, but what I do know is it's so tasty. This is so tasty. The chicken by itself, quite good. It's fresh. It's kind of got it's got tang to it, a bit of spice as well. That just hangs out. But with that sauce, now I don't know if this is authentic at all, but with that sauce, it adds acidity. It adds that kind of extra moisture and extra spice as well. Oh, it is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh my God. Now, I think I cooked it for about 30 to 40 minutes maybe on a rough guide. I was going off the temperatures mainly, so maybe I put it in a bit too early because I know in Jamaica, from what I've seen, they cook it slow for about 1 to 2 hours. So I don't know how close, so this might be a bit quicker than that, but maybe people differ there as well, I don't know. And I don't know how close these flavors are to Jamaica, but but this is so good. Even if this isn't authentic, tastes so amazing. It really is, and yeah, that spice, that spice sauce. Oh my God! Just dipping this chicken, getting a nice scoop of it like that. This turned out great. A lot better than our last week, and we really improved upon the fire. It took me a little bit to get the fire going, but once I got those coals rearing, oh my God, that bit of smokiness and the charcoaliness, I like that as well. But yeah, that is Jamaican jerk. At least my attempt at it. Let's finish eating. And that's my attempt at Jamaican jerk. If you're from Jamaica, maybe you can comment and see how I did, how it looks. Obviously, I can't transfer my taste of it to you. But what I do know, even if it's not authentic, even if it's not accurate at all, it is tasty. This is a tasty recipe, and the sauce is tasty, and it's spicy. If you're not huge into spice, I'm into spice. I'm glad I didn't do 5 habaneros and just did 3, because that was kind of the perfect amount for what I can take. I'm not a huge spicy guy. I like spicy food, but I'm not. When it reaches up there in the Scoville levels, I do have a limit. But I've hit my kind of perfect amount of where it's like pow, like it just explodes in your mouth with flavor. But yeah, I'm gonna eat the rest of this, and thank you so much for watching if you got it this far, and let me know like what recipes you'd like to see and anything like that. Oh, I'm so happy. Anyway, peace.